Hey, Local 5, it's Dave. My apologies for not getting this update out to you earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I got it out tonight so that we didn't drag any more time on it with a couple upcoming events. First of all, thanks to everybody who made the membership meetings. We had a great turnout. We greatly appreciate that support, and it makes it easier for us to get information out and also allows our membership to voice their opinions on some important issues as they're coming forward for our department to make sure that we're representing our members in the way that they voice their opinions, and we want to make sure that we provide that support in that direction as we do in fact represent you. We do have an issue with the acquisition, or I'm not sure exactly what the right term would be, of the Cimmaron Hills Fire Department into our city fire department. And with that, Chris Weaver is the representative off the Local 5 Executive Board in bringing forth what the membership would see as the most equitable way to transition those folks that are within the Cimmaron Hills Fire Department. And the overwhelming majority, as we will represent going forward, is that as they transition in Colorado Springs firefighters, they'll be treated as somewhat of a lateral entry. They will go through an academy of some type, similar to that of a lateral, and with that to be brought on at the level of firefighter first class. And with that, basically, it gives everybody there, even their officers, an actual increase in compensation. So there's no deficit or anything, and we believe that it's the most equitable way to do it without impacting our membership, to make sure that the availability of promoted positions are held to those who have made the commitment and are currently members of the fire department, as well as treating the opportunity for those members as they come from Cimmaron Hills, that once they've been with the fire department for a year past their probationary period, that they'll have an opportunity to be involved in this promotional process as well, given that they meet the qualifications that are required with no adjustment to those as well. So hopefully that kind of wraps that up. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give myself, Chris Weaver, or any of the members of the executive board a call on that. As was announced during the membership meeting as well, with the poll that we just had that ran the numbers for Colorado Springs, it came back incredibly favorable. To that point, our dear and beloved J.J. Jones, who just got back from Massachusetts and is now a Harvard grad, as he went to the workshop out there for 6 weeks. And again, thank you to all the people who supported that effort. JJ even brought back some information, was actually working with us on some information as he was out there, that actually have seen campaigns that have been successful with numbers that are considerably lower than what we had. So our favorability ratings were good, and the numbers also suggest that an April election cycle would be more favorable to us than a November cycle. So that's what we're planning on doing. So obviously, we're going to slow the roll down a little bit, reformulate our dates, and look at what that's going to look like. So we're looking somewhere potentially in June to actually kick off with the signature gathering. We're still working with our council, but right now the leadership and the political action folks really believe that although it's quite an undertaking and an expense, the development of the correct polling language that was actually used in the poll, and the background information that supports the actual position of our collective bargaining position bill, and the actual contract itself would be more well defined if we are able to maintain that information, that language, let me get that out, as we see it to be drawn up in the best suited case for our membership, so that we can carry forward what we believe is the strongest contract that we can develop for our membership. So that's kind of where we're at. So again, look forward to, as that starts to ramp up, probably early summer. I know it's going to be a difficult time as far as everybody's involvement in activities, but again, we're going to definitely need to make an impact when that goes to kick off. We have been working with the administration, although it kind of feels like we're behind the curve on this, although we've definitely tried to be involved in the process as far as the new trade policy. And we know that there's a lot of concern out there, and we wanted to let you know that our position as the trade policy goes, and it's actually vetted by being compared to the departments that we are in comparison in the front range, that this is something that occurs within those departments, where this is a privilege that's in between employees, and it really is not administered by the administration, although they obviously have oversight in there. But we do understand their concerns, as last year we had an incredible spike of people not fulfilling their trades. and we had 60 missed trades. And obviously with the concerns that we have with overtime and what that does, people not being able to fulfill those requirements as far as fulfilling the trades has definitely brought the administration into play with that. The process that we're looking at going forward actually is that the person who initiates the trade, who would have been responsible for the shift, will in fact be the one who will be held accountable for vacation hours, for the number of hours that were missed for that shift if the person who was supposed to fulfill that shift is unable to complete the trade. This does keep it at the level within the membership, and we're trying to maintain and keep the administration out of it. There's been suggestions that there's going to be additional hours on top of the 24 and or some losses of privileges through a disciplinary process with the administration. We're working hard to bring it to the fact that, as with the other departments, this is simply the accountability that we have between our members so that we hold each other responsible to make sure that we're taking due diligence to make sure we fulfill our obligations as far as trades go. And again, I have to say, if you're due to show up for a trade for one of your brothers or sisters, and you're feeling under the weather, something happens, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you show up at your duty assignment, and we'll try to work the circumstances out from that point forward, letting the supervisor being involved at the lowest level at that station, try to deal with the situation. We'll try to get whatever remedies necessary. We're still working out the finite details. I realize life happens, right? And so again, we're trying to come out with the best quality, fair, balanced solution to this problem, while trying to maintain the decrease in the impact from a disciplinary position from the administration, as we again manage this within ourselves. So as it stands, our proposal is, and our supported position is that we go forward that the member who is responsible or who would have been on shift that day will be the one that will be impacted. It'll be vacation hours, and our position is that those hours are 24 hours. And again, the person missing the trade right now, we feel will just need to understand the accountability back to that member. They'll need to work out the details on maybe catching up another day to partake or fulfill that trade, or however we're going to feel that it's going to be appropriately and fairly distributed or applied. We'll try to work those situations out. But again, our frontline position is that it is acceptable to charge the person who would have been at work that day, but no additional penalties beyond that. So basically holds the accountability within us. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me or any of the other executive board members a call. I understand, but we also need to understand that this is a privilege. We don't want to lose that privilege, and we definitely want to just be accountable and responsible for the time that we are committing to each other to cover those shifts. Last but not least, and this is probably the most timely as of this issue, on March 1st, coming up, so just a little under 2 weeks from now, over at the Whirly Ball Court Game Center that's over on Palmer Park, just east of Station 7, on the 1st from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We're doing a fundraiser for Micah Flick, the deputy from El Paso County Sheriff who was killed in the line of duty, to support and raise funds for his family. This is going to be a tremendous event, and basically what it is it's going to allow the public to come in and challenge the firefighters to this game of Whirly Ball. It's been, I guess, a very exciting event, and the kind of cool thing about it is that it actually coincides, and I get it, this is something that my wife will find amazing because of the fact that on Chicago Fire that night, there's going to be, during their episode on Thursday night, Chicago firefighters are going to actually be involved and included with the Whirly Ball, and they'll be showing that episode on the big screen. So it kind of ties in our local event support and efforts with this to the national level, and the fact that there's actually going to be this nationally televised Chicago Fire, I get it, episode. And so it's going to be a big kickoff. We're looking for at least 20 firefighters to show up for this. If we had more, that would be tremendous. Again, this is the year that we're really going to need to make a push. This is the year, in addition to what we all and have always done, which is to support this community, we need to make sure that we show our faces out there to show that our brothers and sisters in blue, that we're behind them, that we're going to support this effort, we're going to support this community, and that we're going to be involved in a fundraiser that's really going to benefit the Flick family. And to that part, it's just an incredibly important event. And so I'm asking you personally to consider this as part of the beginning of the strong movement in our efforts to really demonstrate to this community how strong we stand behind our community and those that serve the public. So as Fido Milo is stepping in here to help me, hi buddy, and I'll have to duck in and try to block out the chandelier that my daughter, who is overseas with her husband, is serving our country, that she hates the chandelier behind me. So I love you, baby, and sorry, we'll get to it, all right? Sorry for the long video. Definitely wanted to give the update to everybody. Again, any questions, and don't ever hesitate to give myself a call or anybody else on the executive board. And again, please, I get it. I didn't look at what shift was on that night, but everybody who's on duty that night, obviously you get a pass. But everybody else, please, definitely consider getting your family out. It's going to be free for the firefighters to come out, and no, the beer's not free. The game is free. But after that, have a great time to be able to share in this nationally publicized or nationally televised event that's going to go on with Chicago Fire, but also to demonstrate a really great fundraising effort on our behalf to support those that are within the public safety community. So again, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.